All right, so here are the parts. Obviously all this stuff is new right here, but this is what came off the car. So this bolt here is what holds this pin that goes through the clutch fork. All right. These two springs right here and this. These are the only things that came off. Right, and then the old throwout bearing. So this is everything that was supposed to be in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total pieces, but there was only 3 of them. So, or 4, excuse me. The little, this counts, I guess, technically. There's supposed to be 2 of these, but obviously this one's ripped and the other one went missing just because it deteriorated probably. Or someone didn't put it back in, just like the rest of the stuff that wasn't there. So now we're just gonna go ahead and put that all back together. All that's already greased. I'm gonna throw some grease on this pin here. The new throwout bearing, this thing's greased where it needs to be. All in there. All right, let's do this. So this obviously, clutch fork goes in one way. You want this indent obviously facing that way so that when you press in the clutch, the, the slave cylinder comes out, depresses this. So go ahead and pull this out just a little bit. Let's see. This is what I am using for this. Some nice high temp grease. All right, so looking at this diagram, now we need the spring. So the one that goes on top right up here is 672, so that will be this one. And then obviously this will be the one that goes on the bottom. Before I forget, go ahead and grab these seals. Jesus. Some of the best plastic in the world, I'll tell you what. Oh, this. Let me just make sure. So also looking at the diagram, the clutch fork already has these, what would you call these? I guess sleeves. These 2 sleeves are already in there. So we're just replacing this top spring, seal, bottom spring. Yeah, so these are all the reference numbers. So coming in from the top to bottom, spring, seal, fork. Alright, so you can see here, I got the pin through the top one. Now it's, you know, just about to go through the clutch fork. You might have to pull it back out and push it back in, like I did a few times, but the main issue was the seal on top, you know, unaligning it with the clutch fork not being in yet and it moving. It just was a recipe for it not to go in straight. And obviously it's only going to go in one way. So now that we got the seal in the top and now we're doing the bottom one, I'm having the same issue between the clutch fork moving and that seal not being seated properly. That pin is just catching it ever so slightly that it's not going in straight. So it's like, you know, pushing in to the right or to the left, whatever direction it's pushing, it's just, essentially the seal is blocking it. So I didn't realize this, so I'm using an extension to try and push through. Don't do this. I grabbed a hammer and I gave it a little bit of motivation, and even then that wasn't working. So that's when I decided to pull the pin out, pull the spring and the seal, make sure it was, you know, actually going in right. So here you see I'm hitting it with the hammer. That, you know, that wasn't enough. So I pushed it back out actually, and I took the seal and the spring out, and then I pushed the pin through just to make sure that, like, okay, it's going in, so that just means I'm doing something wrong. So let me try and reset, you know, assess the situation and figure out what's going on. So I was like, all right, the seal's just not seating properly. So push the seal up against the clutch fork, put the pin in, and this is actually what made it work. So if you're having issues putting this back together, try that first. So you'll see that the seal here is not in the way and the pin's all the way through, and now we're golden. This thing is pretty much back together. After some motivation and me fixing my ways, that went back in. We're going to go ahead and put this bolt back in. Wind up. Of course not. Get any excess off. Don't want any grease on the shaft. Very nice. Well, I guess that's what that clutch fork stop is for, so that this doesn't happen. This throw bearing comes out far enough, it's gonna get stuck. Don't have it. Where is it? I don't know. All right, it's good enough. Now this piece here goes right down here in this hole. See that? This hole right down here. And then this boot goes right in here where my finger's coming out. this metal cap right there. Probably should do all this once it's all back together. I reckon it goes like this. So, oh, nope, not at all. It goes like this. So there's a groove on this side of the clutch fork. I'm assuming this piece right here, this little cutout, that goes in the groove. So that's what I'm gonna do. It could be wrong. We're gonna see afterwards. Because this is going in. Look good, feel good. We're just gonna go ahead and put this rubber one down in here. Go. And this bad boy. Give you some nice little just a few love taps. There she goes. All right. There's your flat head. It's probably easier to do with both hands so that you can guide it and push one. But pretty much do it like this, push it, take your other hand, guide it behind the clutch fork. There's one. There's two. There it is. Now it's all buttoned up. Very nice.